Pete Carroll back in Seattle, preseason opener, a tie, 23-23. They don't even play overtime in the preseason anymore. Thank God they finally figured that out. Thank God. I don't know how long it took them. It took them longer to figure that out than it did to figure out that maybe it's not a good idea to have smelling salts on the sidelines when you're concerned about guys having concussions. So they eventually figured out both. But they figured out we don't need to have overtime in the preseason. A 55-yard field goal attempt was blocked by the Raiders. Oh, no, the Raiders were trying it to win the game. It was blocked as time expired. So it's a tie. Big deal. The preseason standings don't matter. Jalen Milroe made his debut, 6 for 10, 61 yards, and 38 rushing yards. He's a guy that they just kind of they really like, and they want to will him into becoming a potential franchise quarterback. Yeah, they've got Sam Darnold, but boy, the way they talk about Jalen Milroe, the way they talked about him when they drafted him, they really want this kid to become something.
You're going to see him in some games this year. Go back to everybody uses this example, but it's appropriate. Go back to Cordell Stewart when the Steelers drafted him in the second round out of Colorado. They already had a quarterback. I think Neil O'Donnell was their guy then, and so he wasn't ready to take over for O'Donnell. But you looked at the speed, you look at the versatility, and you had to put some package out there for Stewart. And so he played some wide receiver and he got some sweeps. Before jet sweeps were a thing, they use him in a lot of ways. And I think they'll do the same thing the Seahawks will with Milroe. He's an incredible athlete, even when he was struggling. And teams knew, in college, maybe he's not going to dice us up as a passer, but we really have to account for him because he's tough to tackle. He's fast. He's strong. He's a rare athlete, and I think the Seahawks will use him in a handful of games this year.
3 carries, 38 yards, 12.7 yards per carry. That's a guy that you get on the field. If the objective is to put your best 11 players on the field, that's a guy that you get onto the field when you can. And I know that some quarterbacks don't like being removed or having the ball taken out of their hands if the quarterback's still in there, like playing receiver. Who was it that was going to hit Mark Sanchez? And Mark Sanchez did the full body flinch. But
right.
Quarterbacks don't like that. Sam Darnold's not going to like that, but he's not going to like it when at some point during this year they possibly say, we want to see more of Jalen Milroe. It's not quite Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix Jr., but depending upon how the Seahawks do, depending upon how Darnold does, I can't rule out the possibility that late in the year Jalen Milroe takes over because they really love the kid. And let's see what he does in the preseason, but they're working on developing him as a passer. There's nothing more to develop as a runner. He is explosive, he's fast, and he could be a game changer for a team that's about running the football and playing good defense. Grind it out. You get a guy like Milroe, and it can change everything. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.